Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Born Political. I'm your host, Joe Dela Cruz, and it's been a couple weeks since I've been here. And if you've never been to the studio, I encourage you to come. It's SEC TV. We weren't here last week because they had a tremendous upgrade. They're always looking to move forward and give us a better venue. And if you haven't been, you'd be shocked to see it. But the folks that have been here before, I can't wait to have them back on the show because the lighting is different. If you look in the background here, it's just a little bit different, a little nicer. It's always been that, but there's an upgrade. So that's what I wanted to tell you. Tonight I have a guest that's been on before, someone that I see often. I see her around a lot. You may see her around town too. When I tell you her name, people know her more than they know me. It's my wife, Tammy Dela Cruz. And tonight we're on the show because we have a lot of things going on when Community Speaks Out. Tammy was the president of Community Speaks Out. We flopped roles recently. She's now currently the vice president, still doing all the heavy lifting for our organization, her along with Lyda and all of our volunteers. But tonight, we want to talk about, in particular, one of our events that is near and dear to both of our hearts. It's an event that was started by our son, Joey Gingerella, in the name of the Christopher John Sober Softball Tournament. Tammy, I know this means a lot to you, and I know it means a lot to our group. It's our largest event. Welcome on the show. Thanks for coming on again. But let's talk about this event. I mean, it's coming up, hopefully, fingers crossed, this Saturday, right? Fingers crossed.
It's not looking good.
It's not looking good.
It's not looking good.
So we start the day at 8 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yes.
And that would be the first game. When I say we start, that's usually the players, the other volunteers. We're going to start that day usually about 5:30 in the morning, getting it ready, getting the grill set up, getting all the banners up. It's a long day, exhausting day, but it's so meaningful to so many people. And so when they come on Saturday, and again, that's this Saturday, this September 30th.
Yeah.
This is a live show.
Pray for no rain.
And if we get no rain and we do play, we have a whole litany of things that are going on that day. But like, if you want to start it off, if you show up, what are you going to expect? You're a player. You sign up.
Yeah, you come to.
Or you're already signed up.
You're already signed up. You've got your. We're going to hand out shirts at the registration desk. You check in. There's just so much going on. We have free food all day for the community, so that everyone can come down. We have All Paws on Deck Incorporated, which is a animal rescue. And what's cool about that is, I've been saying, everyone deserves to be rescued, our animals
That's
included.
right.
So they're coming down, and I'm sure those animals will make somebody very happy. They're dogs. I believe they're bringing dogs.
Now you can go online, right, and pre-register if you're looking for a dog. And I went on their site, so All Paws on Deck is actually a nonprofit that places all different kinds of dogs. It's not a specialty. It's just dogs that need homes.
Yeah.
And if you're interested and you're looking for a puppy, and we are there, if
Little
we're there
ones,
this Saturday.
big ones, yeah.
I say puppy, but there's dogs that are older. But if you pre-qualify ahead of time, you can actually see the dogs that they're going to bring. And you may be able to reserve that dog before you even got down to the field. Something to think about,
I mean, our Sober Softball Tournament has turned into like a family event. So this organization is near and dear to our sister-in-law, Stephanie Dela Cruz, who volunteers. She fosters dogs, and she said it would be great to have them down there. It'd just be another added plus for people to come down and to bring the community in to do some additional support and see what we're doing.
So we do a lot of events during the course of the year, and we're gonna touch base for a lot of different things because we've been very busy as a group, as an organization. Our volunteers have been absolutely incredible, lights out. We do karaoke during the winter. At the Elks Club has been a good partner too.
Yes,
we have
absolutely.
a section that we rent that is always alcohol free. You can't even bring alcohol into that section because of the liquor law. So it's actually been a perfect spot. It holds between, we usually get 80 to 120 people. We have a holiday party that's coming up. If you're listening to this show,
That's December 16th.
December 16th, and keep going on our Facebook. Community Speaks Out has a Facebook page. Linda Labby does a great job on it. All the events are up there. We want to make sure that, from what we've been hearing from folks in recovery, is they got meetings, and that's how they do their recovery. And many people said, they just said, if you want to solve you want to stay healthy and do all these things, go to meetings. We have a lot of folks that, that's a lifetime of meetings. They were addicted young. and they want to be able to do things that they could do with people their age. And oftentimes that involves drinking or going to a bar or doing things like that. The Sober Softball Tournament is not one of those events, but we are having other events like the karaoke, like bowling. And I mean, what's the feedback you're getting from the folks that are?
Oh, they are just so grateful to have the kind of support. They've never had this kind of outreach before. I mean, we have multiple things going on. We have Alicia Lyda and Jeremy Lyda who actually work hard to pick up and get lightly used clothing and necessities for the house. They go around with their animals, and they have bunnies that they go bring around, and they're like therapy bunnies, and they're well received and they're wanted to come, and they just have that. They're really now our outreach specialists, I'll call them, knowing that they have a lifeline, to say, I really need this, and learning what is needed and what we want, what we need. It's kind of helpful. It's very helpful. What I would like to say is that it's awesome we're building this recovery community, but what's also important is learning how to bring the community and recovery community together, to support each other, and that's when I'm really excited about, like, October 22nd. We're going to partner with Thrive 55 and have a Groton Rocks recovery. Music is a great healing, is a wonderful thing to bring people together, and awareness
And that's
to
going to be
the
a
problem.
family event.
It's a family event.
So that's going to be food trucks. It's going to be a bunch of people. Mass
Absolutely.
Confusion, which if you guys go to the concerts that the town and city put on, they're regularly on the billet, and they regularly fill seats because they're a great band. So we're super excited about that. And again, today, because we're so close to the tournament, we are only a couple days away now. Again, fingers crossed. Pay attention. It could possibly get canceled. They've done a great job down at the field. If you look, they're getting ready to put the press boxes up. The field was just laser leveled. It's in great shape. What the day's going to look like, hopefully, and if you get a chance to go, and we're hoping that the community comes out, because the event really was made to honor people that have lost their battle and addiction.
Yeah.
But at the same time, make sure that we understand the family and the people that are left behind are the ones that are still trying to make sense of it. The ones that are still trying to figure out why it happened. A lot of times, you come to an event like this, you're gonna see young kids that didn't really know their parents that well. You're gonna see moms and dads that lost their child too early. There's never a time when you're prepared to lose a child, and a lot of our group is in that wheelhouse. And what we're looking to do is make sure that if a child's never heard their mom or dad's name called out before while they were alive, or remember that, they get to cheer for them. They get to see grandma and grandpa, or whoever their guardian is now, watch a team, watch people that come out and volunteer their time to play for the family. In some cases, it's the family themselves playing, but there's other cases where there's people in recovery, or we just have some softball teams that like to be involved. And we appreciate all those folks coming out. It's just, it brings together a bunch of different people, and to see the impact of a mom watching someone and hearing their kid's name be cheered along is
The message is that their life mattered, and that's the first message. The second message is to let people know we're wrapping ourselves around the family and letting them know that they're always going to have support. And one of the most important messages, I believe, is that people in recovery can see what can happen if they don't get the help that they need. And so, it's just one of our best event.
I think so too.
Our best event.
And a lot of it has to, obviously we run on funds, but this is not a fundraising event. Actually, the food is all free. Community Speaks Out pays for all of it, but it did come through a grant.
We'll be doing some cool little things to try to raise a little bit of money to try to offset a little bit of the costs. But we got a grant from Groton, good old Groton.
We call it a grant, but if you guys aren't
really not a grant, sorry.
Yeah, if you're paying attention to the news, obviously the money is starting to finally come out for what to me was the most egregious crime against our country has ever seen, and it was all of these opiate manufacturers, distributors. The money started coming through. It was through a lawsuit, and I want to give the town council of Groton a lot of props. The money's been distributed all out the state. 15% of it, of the actual lawsuit, went all across the state to municipalities that have been affected. Very few of them have distributed all the money. That is something that I apologetically went to the council along with Tammy and our volunteers and said that we want the money on the ground, fighting what it was meant for,
Yeah.
and we wanted it immediately.
We
And
had some really good support on
We
the
have.
council, but we rallied people in recovery, and we explained to them a little bit how politics works, and how important it is for them to fight what's something they need, the help that they need. So we had probably 65 to 70 people in recovery that were even willing to get up and talk to the council to tell them how important the work that we do is unlike anything that they've ever experienced before. And we were able to flip a few of the counselors. We haven't had full support of the council, but we had a majority of the council.
Yep.
And we can really thank the RTM too for really coming to battle for us too. Because
They did, at both levels of government, I think, especially in Groton, I think a lot of it has to do with the home base of Community Speaks Out being here in Groton has really brought the issue right to light. And I think a lot of the folks that are in government, in politics, have gotten the message loud and clear, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to do that. And that's why we want to make sure we thank them and appreciate them, because there are other towns, and we will be taking this show on the road, because this is not money that's meant to sit in an account and be left alone and see if they, wait, maybe they can use it for something later. There's need right now, today. There was need yesterday. We don't want money sitting in the bank that could be helping save someone today. So
Yeah.
that's part of it. I do want to take a second, because we're honoring 8 people. And during the show tonight, I said that I was going to read the names of the 8 people that are going to be playing. There's a short blurb about them. I won't read the whole thing, but just to put a face on these folks and know that they have family. Family that will be in the stands this weekend, family that will maybe be playing. It's kind of cool when some of the family members play, and moms and dads that'll be watching.
And if you come down, it's going to be pretty powerful. We love Today I Matters, how they have the poster project, and we were lucky to have him the first year. We started in 2016. He is on the road constantly and very, very busy. We kind of started our own little thing. So the people that we've highlighted through the years since 2016, we won't have all of them this year, but this year we'll have really beautiful like they're kind of like the political signs that go in with their name and their age, and it's going to be in a picture, a large picture, and it's going to be powerful to actually put, the name to
families
the
are
face.
hurting. So Gavin Broccoli, this one's interesting because this is a family friend. This is someone that his aunt was both of his aunts were my babysitters when I was a young man, and they've been family friends my whole life. But he was lost just in 2018. Gavin Broccoli was 34, was a son, a brother, grandson, uncle, cousin, nephew, and a friend to many. And he was so much more. And these things go on and on, but he was a scuba diver, a spearfishman, a mountain bike rider, a carpenter, a snowboarder. And I'm not going to read the whole entire list because there's a lot. It's 8 people, and this is their story. And we read this right before each game. And I think it's important because we want to know why we're there a lot of times, and it reminds the family of the good days. We all know that.
And addiction doesn't define the whole person.
It doesn't. And what we're hoping to do is make sure that we get the local community out, the people, not just the families. This year, we're doing a little bit different. We are starting at 8 o'clock sharp in the morning. We're going to get this tournament done at 6 o'clock. I had to help. I wanted Will Jenkins, who's a neighbor. He jumped in. We'll get him on the show here one day.
Yes.
But he actually tweaked some rules. We're going to make sure we get that moving a little bit better.
Wooden bat?
Wooden bat slows the game down a little bit for some of the folks that don't play every single day. Some of those balls that were coming off the
Safety.
aluminum bats were a little too fast for the families that were in the field. So we've changed a couple things that way. The biggest change is we're really promoting this week. We're going to have hot dogs all day. We're bringing the Community
And a
Speaks Out
pizza truck.
grill. And then at dinner, when we're talking about the end, when this tournament's about to end, you're going to get the best baseball of the day because it's the two teams that made it to the championship.
Yep.
And it's usually a really good game to watch, right? When we get to the later games, they start getting really good. Early, you can have some bad ones. But at 5 o'clock,
not all
the
bad.
pizza truck comes in. We'll have the hot dogs. We have a bakery that donated all kinds of food.
Pepsi Cola
Pepsi.
donated a lot of drinks, soda, and water to our organization for that day.
And it is a long day, and you can stop down. But what we're hoping is, folks, because during the day we always have a lot of people, all the players from all the teams, the families are all there. Historically, what happens is at the end of the night, and we will go until 9:30. The championship game would be watched just by the families that were still there. We're hoping that the community comes out. That's why we brought it in a little earlier.
Yeah, then we'll have a vigil. that
Candlelight
follows.
vigil. Yep.
And I have reached out to the town council, RTM. I want them to see what we do, not just hear about it. We want them to see it in action. So we've been very lucky because we've had Councilman Franco has been for quite a few years now.
Yep.
I don't think Juliet Parker's missed one.
This is our seventh annual.
Yeah,
too.
there's been several that have come to our. I don't want to leave just the names out, but we've had several that come
City
down.
mayor's always been down.
The city
Keith
mayor's
and-
always come down, and
Yeah.
I know that Juan showed on last year. So yeah, we and Bruce. So a lot of them have come down.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have. And we're going to continue that. We're going to make sure that we keep inviting them, and they do keep coming because it's important. And what's really
Not
important
all, but
is,
some.
to me, the most important thing is when people show up who don't have addiction in their life.
So make sure we get through these names
I
because
am
that's
gonna get
what's
through
really,
names.
really important
So,
to highlight our individuals.
Ray D. Olivier, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this
Yep.
is something that the family wrote, and it's going to be said over a loudspeaker right before each game. But what a fitting way to honor Ray today at this sporting event, as playing, watching, and writing about sports was Ray's passion. Our only wish is that he'd be here to write this, as he would have done a much better job. So they know their loved one. There are times when we look at those struggling with addiction and forget about the addiction does not define them. Ray struggled for less than 2 years, but we tried to never lose sight that Ray was so much more than his struggles with addiction. Ray led a short but well-lived life filled with love and friendship for his family, his friends, his 3 dogs, Frank, Hannah, and Riley. Ray had a spirit and love for sports. His retentive memory for sports statistics was evident from a very early age, in which he amazed many adults with his life.
How old was he?
You know what? It doesn't say his age. During the day, we won't have to know his age because each team has their age on the back. So the entire team.
Where's the same
dependent-
number?
Like Gavin Broccoli was 34 years old. The whole entire team will be number 34.
Yep.
And they'll all say Broccoli on the back.
Because the
And
reality is he'll always be forever 34.
he will. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm reading the first couple sentences.
He was a
because
young man.
He was. I think it's important for people to understand that, they're connected. A lot of times when you see numbers in the day or on the news at night, and you say, oh, well, we lost 107,000 people. Just in these couple letters, when you connect uncles, cousins, friends, family, and multiply that out, it's, millions of people that are being affected by the loss of these people that really should still be here. At 34
Yeah.
years old, you should
See,
still be
and that's
here.
why it's important to see their beautiful face and to meet the beautiful parents and loved ones that love them, that brought them into this world.
It
Because, yeah, it's just a tragedy.
And then we have Brandon Fernald. Brandon was a son, a brother, an uncle. Again, all these words, when you connect them to one name, it really extrapolates how many people are being affected. He was a friend of many. His energy, enthusiasm, and personality was infectious. He had an amazing personality who lit up a room when he entered. He was kind of fun. He was kind. I thought it said kind of funny. He was kind and funny, intelligent, and incredibly handsome. I can't wait to see the picture. He had a passion for fishing and cooking. Brandon was such a positive person that those he loved and cared about. He loved his life and adventure. Brandon passed away March 1st, which is my birthday, 2022, from a fentanyl overdose. Brandon was only 33 years old.
And they lost a relative, Harry, too. We
that
honored
is
Harry, too. Yep.
So he lost a relative that played in the tournament 2 years ago, I believe.
So two people in that one family. Yeah.
And that's very common. So I think if you're out there and you have someone in your family that's struggling with addiction, and there's 2 of them, then there's 2 reasons for you to really start coming to the Community Speaks Out meetings. I want to remind you that we do meet once a month.
Yeah, third Wednesday of the month, 6 to 8 p.m. We
And
really
that's-
highly encourage you to come, just learn. I encourage the town council, the RTM, people should be coming just to hear. If it wasn't for Matt Auger, may he rest in peace. If it wasn't for Matt Auger, we wouldn't be here where we're at.
Yep. And then I'm getting through these names because this show's almost
ahead.
over.
Let's go.
It happened so fast.
Rock and roll. Let's go.
Another honoree for this Saturday, Monica Marie Porter. In the eyes of a mother, our children hold the beauty we at times can't express. We have this ability to see the pure nature of their hearts. Even on their worst days, we see them, our beautiful children. Even when they struggle, we still see their ability. We see beyond the choices that at the times can become their identity.
Okay. How old was he? I'm not gonna.
Mon-
That's a sad one.
I'm just going to read the second part.
Okay.
Monica Marie Porter, a sister, a mom of 2 wonderful children, aunt, cousin, granddaughter, friend, companion, but my beautiful daughter. An addict, yes. However, that didn't define her, as she was the light of this world who fell victim to the opioid crisis, an epidemic that unfortunately brings us together today. That was not a path Monica ever wanted for herself, a life she never envisioned, an ending which was not intended. And this goes on, and those are words that come straight from a mom. And I think that coming out and showing someone and this family support is very important. But the mom's going to get to hear her name and hear the cheers. And
they have
so
the
will the
option of,
kids.
of actually reading their letter out loud if they'd like to.
And we're hoping that the families do. I mean, that's probably
not-
very difficult for a mom to read. It's difficult for me to read. But we hope she does.
Some express they would like to, so they're going to have the option.
All right, Christopher Bouchard. For as long as I can remember, my brother Chris was a dreamer. He had big plans, which were constantly changing. I would laugh and roll my eyes as he would tell me this big plan of action and how he was going to get there. One day he was going to go to school for this. The next day he was going to build this. As kids, I just shrugged it off because it was just Chris being Chris. We grew up with a father who also struggled with addiction and was active in our entire lives. He passed away in 2013 due to his addiction. Needless to say, our childhood was chaotic and at times scary. Chris became my safety net. I always felt less fear because I knew my older brother was with me. Because of this, we grew up very close bond. These people are missed.
Yeah. And I just,
That's a brother.
to bring out 2013, it took that long sometimes for people to actually be ready to speak about the way their loved one passed away. And so I think it's a huge step for the family, and I think, they need the support, and that'll be great.
It is. And we have Michelle Graddick, so there's 8 teams being honored. We're going to always keep it at 8, so we can all stay at one field and be together. Laverne Michelle Richardson Graddick was an inspiration to everyone she met. Michelle was outgoing, outspoken, and would help anyone. She enjoyed fashion, cooking, and doing hair. She strived to be a leader and to help people. Michelle loved her children, her grandchildren. She was a true friend, a mother, a aunt, a grandmother, a survivor. Michelle loved life. Another person connected. Again, I can't keep stressing how many people this affects. When we, in the middle of the day, we usually take a break, and the children and younger siblings, we have them race around the bases just for fun. But you see that there's kids out there that are never going to have
And in that moment, you see smiles on their face.
You do.
It brings some joy to the day, which is nice.
Gabriel Stephen Austin, 6/22/22. He was born in '99. These are young people. It's impossible to capture a person in just a few short sentences, especially when someone whose adult life was largely defined by drug addiction. To some, Gabe was just an addict, but to truly know Gabriel was to love him. Gabe was knowingly quick-witted, hilariously funny, and had a heart of gold. His sparkling blue eyes could light up the darkest room, and his smile often became infectious. Gabe was adventurous and loved to live life on the edge. Gabe struggled with ADHD throughout his childhood. Naturally athletic, sports ended up being a great outlet for his abundance of energy. That's Gabe. Again, you're going to get to hear the whole entire thing read. Hopefully you guys can come down this Saturday. This is 2 pages. So Gabe's family wrote a lot
very
about
new.
Gabe.
He died this year. So.
He did, yeah. And we're thinking of them today.
He's very young, 23 years old.
And this last person, actually, she was honored last year, but she's being co-honored this year with her cousin. The family wanted to play again, and they had Joe Pielo, who passed away. And I don't have his bio. I can only tell you that I think the family...
Joe and Ashley were cousins.
They were cousins.
And close.
Yep.
And we're going to be able to honor, it was the families, felt very important to bring them back together for one last, family thing. So it was really important to them.
And we're looking forward to that. Ashley
Yeah.
Pielo, I'll read this quick because she actually, they do a 5K and you'll hear it. Ashley Pielo was an amazing person who touched many people's hearts. Her personality lit up a room and could make anyone smile. She was always willing to help anyone in need. Her career was caretaking, In her early years, she worked as a daycare teacher and then went through nursing field, taking care of the elderly as a CNA. She enjoyed taking care of her niece, nephew, and would help her sister while her husband traveled for work. She loved to have adventures with them. She is truly missed by her family and friends. She is never forgotten. Every July since 2018, we put on a 5K in honor of her to raise money to help those struggling with addiction. We fight and pray they will recover. Their life matters. Always and forever, we love you, Ashley Peeler, our sweet angel from above. Ashley Peeler has actually dedicated the 5K to Community Speaks Out and her family. We've got to go down a couple times and see that event. And anytime you can get together for any event and honor someone that you lost, in some way or sense, it brings them back to life. I witnessed this at all these tournaments. It's heartfelt. It's important. It's all the things that we should be doing as a society, I think, and more of it. But this is one of those events that I hope you can make it, and I hope you can come down. If you're out there today and you're struggling, you can always, if you look up Community Speaks Out, we're actually part of the 211 system in Connecticut now, where if you call, but to get to us best, to go on our Facebook, there'll be a couple of cell numbers you're going to get, either Tammy or Lyda. They actually pick up the phone and take all the intakes. But every day they're helping somebody. Every day someone needs help. And we hope that it's just, a lot of times it's you just taking the step to do it. And, you know, I come home every day and she's on the phone with a new parent.
Yeah. I just want to say too, is like, there's a lot of exciting things that our board is working very, very hard on. We have a lot that we want to accomplish in the next 3 years. We have a 3-year plan. One of them is to have a recovery community center. I want to make it happen. We're going to work hard to have that happen. And we're just going to keep going. We know that there's a lot of people that need us, so.
And the coattail on that end of that the end of that statement about us trying to move forward. The market is hot. We thought we were going to be in a better position. We're getting close though. We're working together. We're reaching out to the community, seeing what their needs are. We're going to have a plan for a building. If you're out there and you're listening to this show and you have land in Groton, because we do want to stay local here, we're going to build a community center. If you want to donate to us, to the cause, you can do that too. But we're looking, and hopefully there'll be some meetings. There'll be some postings that will allow you guys to come out so we can hear about what the community is looking for. Because we don't want to leave anybody out. We're down to 1 minute, which means.
And I just want to say, Groton, we want to stay in Groton. This is the support.
That's where we're going to be.
We have the support of the police. It's just amazing. This town is really amazing.
It is. With that, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching the show. We've done over 50 shows. This is Born Political. Next week, I'm going to have one of the Board of Education members that's running. Hopefully you can tune in. It's Matthew Schulman. So he's one of that's coming up. If you want to be on the show, again, just reach out to me. I don't know how many openings we have before the election.
And I'll fill in between.
We're getting close. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Good night.